Happy Friday, everybody. I know yesterday you had a little bit of a lengthier reading, and I know that it was longer than you would like sitting at home. However, there were so many important things that happened in progress reports 11 and 12 that I really wanted you guys to have those two together because, again, we were starting to think about a possible theme, and those two progress reports really started to hint at a message of the story, what that author really wants us to understand. So today you guys are actually going to analyze how the differences in Charlie's point of view and some of those other characters' point of view and our point of view develop the theme of the text. And remember, point of view is a character or a person's thoughts or opinions about a person or a situation. So if we're supposed to be figuring out how the differences in points of view are the characters, when we're talking about what their point of view is, we're going to focus on their point of view of Charlie and his situation, which you guys know is this intelligence, human experiment, and science in general. So as you guys start to figure out the theme in your progress report, I really want you to think about what the theme is for science. Not, oh, Charlie never gave up on his operation, so the themes never give up. I will tell you right now that that is not the theme of the text. So, before we dive into Pearson, I do want to show you an infographic that really helps with theme. So this is not the first time we've dealt with theme, but it has been a little bit of time since we have dove into theme. So I wanted to kind of review with you guys what theme is. So you guys know theme is that message about a situation, about life that the author wants us to take away. The theme itself needs to be a complete sentence though. So a piece of text, for example, Flowers for Algernon, might be about science, but the theme isn't science. The theme is what we learn about science, okay? Or like the example given, a story's topic may be friendship, but the theme is dogs are our man's best friend. So as you guys are diving into Flowers for Algernon and reading that end, and you're asked to figure out what a possible theme about science is, I need a full sentence, okay? So here are some more examples of themes. Money can't buy happiness. Don't judge a book by its cover. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. It's that life lesson, okay? You don't have to agree with the theme, but it's just something that we're learning through that piece of text. Another point that I do want to bring up to you guys is that the theme is going to be applicable to the story, but it's also bigger than the story itself. It's going to express a bigger picture about the real world and give real world advice that you can transfer from Flowers for Algernon to science in general, or to another story in general, or to what we know. When you guys put together your theme, you need to make sure that you don't reference any of the characters. So I should not see Dr. Strauss's name, Mrs. Kinnian, or Charlie's name within that theme. So I am going to attach this to your assignment so that you have it as a reference piece. And then I want to dive into Pearson and show you a couple of things before I let you finish the story. Okay, so I wanted to bring you guys back to a portion of what you read yesterday. So I have up a student from 1-2's work, and as you go through, you can see that she did highlight different pieces, and I want you guys to revisit, in particular, paragraphs 124 through 127, because as I was reading, that's where we really start to hear some of our characters' different points of view on Charlie's surgery itself. So, which don't mean to say, she remarks, that I don't think there's something mighty strange about you, Charlie. Them changes. I don't know. You used to be a good, dependable, ordinary man. Not too bright, maybe, but honest. Who knows what you done to yourself to get all smart all of a sudden? Like everybody around here's been saying, Charlie, it's not right. So as most of you noted, you guys were talking about some of those characters starting to kind of doubt who he was, and suspicion was kind of being raised about how he all of a sudden went from being very, very unintelligent to super intelligent. So Fanny here is kind of bringing up some of those concerns. So right here, this is her point of view about Charlie's surgery. But how can you say that, Fanny? What's wrong with a man becoming intelligent and wanting to acquire knowledge and understanding of the world around him? So right here in 125, you can see that Charlie doesn't necessarily agree with Fanny because he asked this question. So if I were to go through, now I can't actually annotate on this piece because this is a student's piece of work, but I would add that Charlie doesn't necessarily agree. And if you think back to those learning targets, we're looking at the differences in our characters' points of view. So she stared down at her work, and I turned to leave. Without looking at me, she said, "It was evil when Eve listened to the snake and ate from the tree of knowledge. It was evil when she saw that she was naked. If not for that, none of us would ever have to grow old and sick and die." So right here, what Fanny does is she makes an allusion to a story in the Bible, and our person from 1-2 actually highlighted this, and although she doesn't have an annotation, I know that this stood out to her. So what I would add to this piece right here is that connection between the story of Adam and Eve in the garden and what Charlie's going through. Now, most of you are probably confused as to what that connection is, but right here, when it says it was evil when Eve listened to the snake and ate from the tree of knowledge. Now, when I think back to what Charlie's going through, what he's doing is trying to acquire more knowledge. And Fanny is saying that that right there is actually evil. Once again, now I have the feeling of shame burning inside me. This intelligence has driven a wedge between me and all the people I once knew and loved. Before, they laughed at me and despised me for my ignorance and dullness. Now they hate me for my knowledge and understanding. What do they want of me? So right here, our person, their annotation is he's doubting things, and she is correct. But I would add in, and I would extend this by saying, what is he doubting? Has there even been a major change to people's perception of him? And now she can see that I'm actually writing back on her annotation. So right here, this stands out to me because originally they didn't like him because he was, as you guys had said, a little bit slow. Now they don't like him because he's too smart. And Charlie's confused because now he's asking, what is it that they actually want from me? So as you guys go through and you finish Progress Report 13, which is down here, and you complete the story, please keep in mind what the author wants us to learn about science and the effect that it has on people, the effect that it has on the world, because that's what your discussion post is going to focus on. Like I said, I'm going to put the infographic about theme into your Pearson page so that you have direct access to it, and I can't wait to see your themes.